All right, before we begin, let's thank our sponsors like Inspect All Pest Services, providing the highest quality termite pest and wildlife control. They'll also take care of that insulation in the house, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and just about any other home service that you might need and or have. Located in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding area, reach out, inspectallservices.com. The Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, with his sidekick, Pew Pew, litigates all over the United States, but if you want to see that smiling face, go and see him. Based out of Georgia, criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more. The Aurora lawfirm.com. Need help? Get help. That's what I say. Go to the best in the business. That would be Dr. David Markwell and his 10 therapists in-house there at Ridgeline Counseling. 3 locations in Georgia. One across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains in East Cobb, Marietta near the Square, and McKaysville just outside of Blue Ridge, but he can do virtual sessions anywhere you are at. You can reach out, markwelltherapy.com, or shoot him an email directly, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. FBC Insurance, perfect for new homeowners, or if you're just looking to reshop your current insurance policies, which you should be doing quite often. 5-star service where you shop over 35 A-rated companies. Very simple stuff. You need insurance for your home, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or just a personal policy. 888-308-1841, or you can email them, info@fbcinsuranceservices.com, or get a quote online, fbcinsuranceservices.com. My guy, your guy, that's Rachel Guy. Looking to buy or sell a house in Florida or Georgia? She can assist. 404-797-4600. This is my wife, by the way. I am Rachel Guy at gmail.com. Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia. Family owned and operated, which we love. They are a Generac generator dealer. Fantastic company. Offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. Never lose power again. Plus, every single one of you, when you become a customer, you get an upgraded warranty, free monitoring with a service contract. Use the discount code Bailey. You're getting $500 off your entire installation. Servicing Georgia and Tennessee. A-plus rating with the BBB. All you have to do is call 770-853-7571, or you can go online, poweringgeorgia.com. JHM Land Solutions, another family-owned and operated. We love it. Land clearing, mulching, tree company, grading. You look in that backyard, commercial or residential, or just the yard in general, and you see a lot of stuff, you don't want to do it, get rid of it, they'll get rid of it for you. There is no project too big or too small for JHM Land Solutions. In this line of work, the best in the business, JHM Land Solutions. Call them at 770-274-9120. Jayco Contracting, our buddy Cliff Bratcher, gutter and roofing specialist. This is the hardest working dude in the roofing business. 770-316-3876. Licensed and insured roofing and gutter specialist covering all of Georgia. They are a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, the creator of Pink Panther. Free gutter guards with the purchase of a roof. That's cool. Satisfaction guaranteed, commercial and residential. Give Cliff Bratcher your business. 770-316-3876. Online, jaycocontracting.com. Alive Ozone Therapy Spa. Full disclosure, it's mine and Rach's spa in Central Florida, Altamont Springs to be exact. We do ozone therapy, red light therapy, halo therapy, chromiotherapy, pressotherapy, PEMF grounding mat. We do it all. We are Central Florida's first and only ozone therapy spa. So if you're in and around the area, stop by. You can educate yourself just by going online, because everybody asks, what's ozone therapy? Go to aliveozoneTherapySpa.com. You can book an appointment there. And as many of you know, we have a ton of ozone-infused products on our website, aliveozoneTherapySpa.com, that you can order, and we will ship to anywhere. Look, if you're a sponsor and you want to get in on the podcast, we'd love to have you. Love to have a conversation. Or if you want to be a sponsor of the radio shows that air Saturday mornings on WJRR and Saturday mornings on Planet Radio in Jacksonville, reach out to me, thebaileyshow.com. All right, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
Yeah, there it is, episode 291 of the BS. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there is the iron-fisted one, Chuck Lensford. Hello, Chuck.
Hey, man. Trying to find some snow. It's cold out, and it's just cold.
That's what I was thinking.
Really? Is that where your brain goes? Snow, man.
Yep, that's exactly where my brain goes. There's the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher. Hello, B-Man.
What up? Apparently the Panama Canal is now the American Canal, damn it. We took it back. We built that shit and we gave it to them. Now we said it's ours. Give it to us.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but if it's America, yeah, there you go.
American Canal, man. We got that shit back.
Merry Christmas. This episode's being released on Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas. We hope that you listen to the Freebay episode on Christmas Day and you say, you know what, for Christmas, I want to give one last time. I'm going to go to thebaileyshow.com and subscribe so I can get all of the episodes for 2025 and forever. That's what I'm going to do right now as I'm just kicking around, eating some food, some cookies, and enjoying my prizes and having a good time with the family. I need to give one last time for Christmas. I'm going to thebaileyshow.com because I love these motherfuckers. And I hope you did that on Christmas Day. I hope you're doing that on Christmas Day. I hope you're doing that right now because that's one of my asks for 2025 is that if you're not a subscriber, you become a subscriber so we can keep this mofo going. We can't do it unless we get more subscribers.
Yeah,
Maybe
what
on
would Jesus do?
Jesus wouldn't say mother effers on Christmas Day. I'm just saying, man, it probably should have, Jesus' birthday. Let's just not use that word.
How do you know that?
What? How should I know he wouldn't use that word?
There's a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to JC. One in particular that I observed the other day for the first time, and I don't know why I didn't see this, is I was putting out my nativity scene that I had bought for my grandmother many moons ago. And I put it out every year. And it's a thing because, as most know, how close I was to my grandmother. And on the 20th of December, I celebrate her, I don't know why I celebrated on the anniversary of her death. That's kind of weird. That's one thing that, when I work with Steve in Atlanta, he used to say he never celebrated the anniversary of his father's death. He would always celebrate his birthday. And I was like, man, that makes sense. I was like, most of us celebrate the death of somebody, like on the death, not the death of
day.
But we we always remember the day that they died versus the day that they were born. I was like, God, this guy makes a lot of sense. I go, I'm an idiot, But on December 20th, it's just become a tradition. I take time to myself. I've got one video from back in the day that was recorded on, a camcorder that was spliced together horribly of me talking to my grandmother, and an old friend of mine put it together many years ago. And I sit there and watch it. And this year, actually, I'm surprised I didn't do this in the past. This year, I just happened to be at the mall, the Altamont Springs Mall. And I'll tell you why I was there here in a second. And, I was starving. So I went up to the food court and it kind of hit me because I go to the mall every year for Christmas, not just to shop, but I go because the mall has a special meaning to me because when I was a kid, that's my grandmother and I would always go to the mall together, Annapolis Mall. She never drove. She never had a driver's license. We'd catch a bus. We'd go to the Annapolis Mall and sometimes we would buy lunch and sometimes we'd bring our lunch and we'd sit there on the bench and we'd have a tuna fish sandwich. And it was the best times of my life. I just didn't realize it at the time, of course. So I went and I got myself some Chick-fil-A because we'd often have Chick-fil-A, and I bought her a cup of coffee. No matter how cool it was outside, Graham loved her coffee. And I sat a cup of coffee right there in an empty seat, and I had my Chick-fil-A, and I cried right there in the middle of the food court. I kid you not. I sat there with tears ripping down my face.
This year?
Yeah, just a couple days ago.
Oh, man. That's brutal.
Every year I do that. I mean, the coffee thing I don't do, but I'll sit there in front of my computer and watch this. Rach knows not to bother me. She knows what I'm doing, but I'll sit there in front of my computer and I'll watch this video and I'm just bawling,
just weeping every year. You have a weep day.
I do,
and get happy 5 days later.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it's just, you got to get it out. It's like the one time out of the year, I just get it out. But this year I did the coffee thing and I didn't know that it would affect me like this. And I'm sitting there and I put cream and I put the sugar in it, like I'm making her coffee and I put there in the seat and I'm sitting there and the mall was full, it was great. And I'm sitting there and I got tears right now. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah,
So-
that's sad. That's a really sad story.
That's not a sad story. I mean, it's happy because I'm celebrating Graham.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do that. Like I got a bunch of YouTube videos on YouTube still of me and my grandpa, and every now and then I'll go back and watch them. And sometimes when I'm over at my grandma, she wants to see them, but she just starts crying real bad. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the observation I made with the nativity scene is, what do people say every year for Christmas? Christmas is not about the gifts. It's about celebrating the birth of Jesus, and the gifts were not involved with that, right?
Oh,
But
three
it's-
wise men.
Yeah. 3 wise men brought gifts.
Exactly. The 3 wise men brought gifts. So for you to say it's not about gifts, that was part of the gimmick, man. These
I didn't
dudes
say it
rolled
wasn't
up-
about gifts. I said it wasn't about the F-bomb.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, okay.
An observation I made. I just never realized it. It is about the gifts. Like, these dudes traveled a very far distance, just by going off the North Star to roll up to the birth of JC. And they said, you know what? We can't roll up empty handed. We got to give gifts. So the 3 wise men actually coined Christmas is about gifts. What would have happened if the 3 wise men did not bring gifts?
Well, it's a strange fact about that. You know how long it was between the birth of Jesus and the 3 wise men actually arriving?
It was like a month or two, wasn't it?
It was months. And they didn't. Yeah. So when they arrived, it wasn't the same. And technically Christmas, December 25th, that's nowhere biblically. They know that's the day. That's just the day that we have selected based on the North Star and based on all the information that was given. Best option. But I agree with you. I think the gift thing is awesome. And that is the reason for the season, man. Giving gifts, remembering the birth of Christ. If you believe, if you don't believe, you got Kwanzaa, you got Hanukkah, that's cool too, whatever. But gifts are the one thing that almost goes completely. There is one religion. What's the religion that you can't celebrate birthdays?
Mormon.
No idea.
Yeah, that sucks. That
They don't-
sucks because you don't get anything.
They really don't celebrate birthdays. Mormons don't.
They don't
Nothing.
celebrate any holidays, except for maybe their weird Mormon ones.
Oh, those are the weird kids at Halloween. They don't dress up.
They're the weird
Yeah.
kids that don't say the Pledge of Allegiance. Jason, this kid, that's weird. His name was Jason Babb. And I was in school with him and he wouldn't stand up for the freaking national anthem. I thought that was weird. And then he freaking didn't celebrate birthdays. He couldn't even go to school if you had a birthday party that day.
Yeah, dude, we had a kid that he had to go outside the class every time. And one time the teacher forgot to excuse him. He sat there and I thought the whole world was about to collapse because this poor Mormon boy heard happy birthday. And
I thought you were gonna say he partied like a rock star. He was like, "Hell yeah."
This is what it's like to be out of the tabernacle. This is awesome.
He's honking his blower.
We had a kid like that too in elementary school but we didn't have him leave the room. This poor soul had to sit there at his desk while we partied and ate cookies. He just did, and he didn't dress up or anything. I remember I went over and asked him one day. I remember what he was wearing too. He was wearing this like orange and white and blue plaid shirt. And he had like dirty blonde hair and he had his head on his hands, like you go down and take a nap. And I want to say his name was David. And I was like, hey, dude, I go, what's up, man? Why don't you want a cookie? What's going on? I'm not allowed to celebrate Halloween. I forget. And he gave me a reason too. And I'm like, I never heard that reason, man. I was like, dude, have a cookie, man. I can't have a cookie. I was like, you can't have a cookie? That's stupid. I just walked away.
So, I mean, it
How would you
is.
do that to a kid? Like your twisted religion, you're like,
That's
what?
the thing. It's like child abuse, man. I mean, I get it if it's going to hurt the kid or if it's not like you're condemning him to an eternal damnation if the kid has a freaking Twix bar. It's like, come on, man. Like think it through. If you're a parent, you're going to get this kid's ass kicked. He's not going to get any candy and he's going to be a crappy adult, like crappy.
Right. You definitely, if you're a Mormon and you don't celebrate any of these holidays, you're definitely lessening the pool of chicks to marry, right? Because chicks love prizes. They like dressing up for Halloween. They totally dig birthdays. And now you've got this twisted theory that you can't celebrate any of this stuff. Dude, you could find the hottest girl in the world. And if you can't celebrate it with her, she's out the door. So you're going for ugly.
As a normal religioner, you could go to BYU and pick one up real easily over there.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, because they can't drink alcohol or coffee.
You know what? Who's their idol? John someone is
Madden? John Madden?
No, it's John someone. Is John Stewart or something? Is like the guy that wrote the Mormon book. Anyway, hell, I'll see like videos like they'll do a BYU. They'll be like, "Would you rather have $1 million?" Oh, John Smith, that's his name. $1 million or talk to John Smith for 10 minutes. They're like, "Oh, I would love to talk to John Smith." I'm like, are you stupid? He's the one that says you can't eat cookies on Christmas or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, because they probably already have $1 million. They just want to talk to John. Do you know Brigham Young University, who that's named after?
No,
Steve
Brigham
Young's,
Young?
Steve Young's grandfather.
is that really what's the real name of the school? Boston Young University?
Brigham Young University.
That's not the real name of the school.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
That's why I said it. Yeah.
What'd you think it was?
I don't know if that was a joke, like how Penn State touched people in the showers. I thought it was a joke that, yeah, I bring the kids young over here.
Brigham Young is not in Boston, first and foremost. So I don't know why you would call it Boston.
So, dude, the biggest rule from the Mormon church, this one I didn't know about, is there's no passionate kissing before marriage. And that is a strict rule.
Yeah.
So what's not passionate kissing?
Only pecking is allowed.
Pecking.
Yeah.
Like,
Peck the hell out of her.
Yeah, well.
they do the soaking, and they also have people come in there and bounce the bed for them. That's why they all got bunk beds. Seen that?
How do you know so much about the Mormon religion, first and foremost?
See a lot of stuff on Instagram. They'll be like interviewing them, but they'll do soaking because they're not allowed to have sex. So basically, you just put the weenie in the vagina, and then you just let it soak. And then if they want to take it to the next step, they'll get someone below the bed to bounce.
No way. That's not true.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
No way.
No one can make that up. That's awesome.
Because that way they're not having sex. They're like cheating God somehow. I guess.
Okay. So I just Googled soaking Mormon. Okay. The rules of Mormon sexual practice of soaking include no moving, no thrusting, no orgasms. And to make it more realistic, a friend or stranger will jump on the bed next to the couple, causing the. Are you kidding? This is called a jump humper or a provo pusher. Dude, are you kidding me?
I know about the Mormons. They're weird.
So here's the thing.
Dry humping is called derfing, just so you guys know.
So let me tell you, Mormons, if this is all true, and I'm assuming it is, I was doing this way before your religion.
What, bouncing or being the one laying there getting bounced?
Just being a horrible in bed. I mean, like you guys, I invented being a bad banger, so you guys ripped off my gimmick.
Yeah, but I don't understand that because you're not allowed to orgasm.
You can't
stop right there.
You can't control that.
What's the point?
Soaking. Just get a little moist.
They said it's God friendly.
See, that's who I should have dated when I was younger as Mormons. Be like, because I don't think I gave one woman an orgasm. Just be like, I'm very pro Mormon, so I'm not trying, by the way.
See, they're just going off one guy writing this. I mean, this dude just probably had a cult and he just wanted all the women for himself. John Smith.
Yeah, but why would you put all these? Why would you put all the rules in if you wanted all these women? Because now the rules, you can't even touch women's private parts outside of their clothing. That's like a weird thing to put in there, unless you're like what's a person called that doesn't do any type of sex?
Aphrodisiac.
Brandon.
It's called abstinent. No, it's
abstinence mean you're not doing. But I mean, like you have no interest in anything. You're like asexual. Is that what it's called?
Asexual.
No.
Yeah, asexual.
No, that means you have sex with yourself. You reproduce.
I would say the name of that would be Brandon, the one that's not having sex.
I know it's not abstinence. It's in a rap song.
Okay, yeah. So asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction to anyone.
Celibacy is what I'm thinking of.
Celibacy.
Told that bitch I'm celibate, ain't fucked in about a week. Sight, bitch, I lied. You can rock me to this beat. Yeah, that was the line.
Brandon's like, man, the word's in a rap song. I know the answer. It's celibacy, even though Chuck's already said it 3 times.
He didn't say celibacy. He said asexual, which is what snails do. They're asexual.
No, asexuality is a thing. It's somebody that has no sexual thing. So that's what I'm saying. John Smith must have been, because he put all these rules in there. So everybody would be asexual.
Snails are asexual too because they reproduce with themselves.
I'm telling you, dude, people that come up with these concepts, they're brilliant manipulators. This dude was doing the total opposite to all these women. He was like, you're special. This is the VIP into the religion, is to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. That's
reverse cowgirl.
Yeah, that's why you're special. Absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you, this Christmas season, every year somebody tries to put out a new Christmas song to get into the mix of traditional Christmas music. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Like of course, you've got the OGs, the Bing Crosbys, and those types of things. Mariah Carey, of course, is tradition now. I'll tell you, Ariana Grande's Christmas song, I think, should be tradition. That's a very good Christmas song.
Which one is it?
I don't remember what it is, but it's catchy. It's very Mariah Carey-esque, but it's a good Christmas song. So the same thing goes with movies. Outside of the Hallmark Channel, right? People try to make Christmas movies. Christmas movies are very much like making a football movie. Very difficult because you want them to stand the test of time. You want people to be able to watch them every Christmas, like a football movie. You want people to watch them over and over again. And they're very difficult to make. But I will tell you, this year, there was a Christmas movie that was made, and it's now part of my traditional watch list every Christmas. And that would go on the list of Elf. That would go on the list of Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story on Christmas Day. And the movie is Red One with The Rock.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Carry On, that stupid Netflix.
Oh, that was great, dude. I watched that the day before I flew out.
No, that's not it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm talking about again, the definition of a Christmas movie, according to me, is that the movie has to deal with the Christmas spirit. That's why Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Just because it's based around Christmas time and there's Christmas references in it, if it's not about the Christmas spirit of hope and faith and giving and taking care of others, then it's not a Christmas movie.
So what was the Red One? What got you? What was the part? I haven't seen it.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a rock fan, and then as Santa Claus, it has the guy from the Farmers Insurance commercials. Is it?
JK?
I love how nobody knows it. Nobody knows his name.
Right.
They always call him the guy. How much does that suck? Like you see him on the street.
J.K. Simmons. Yes, J.K. Simmons.
Spider-Man.
Good job,
Spider-Man.
J.K. Simmons. This is a really smart movie. A really, really smart movie.
You got to be smart to watch it or how they made it.
No. Just after you watch it, you go, this was very well written, like thought out. Like the idea of the movie is smart because it's never been done before. And it still holds true to all the traditional stuff that is Santa Claus and Christmas, but it dips in to the history and behind how Santa was created. And it's very superhero-esque. So it's definitely, catering to a different, today's generation, right? So the movie's about Santa Claus, who's played by J.K. Simmons. I want to say Rawlings, but that's the Harry Potter chick, right?
Yeah, or Dobbins for some reason, I want to say.
The running back for the Chargers. And The Rock is Santa's bodyguard in charge of his security. Okay. And The Rock is about to retire. He says, hey, look, Santa, this is going to be my last run. I'm done. And Santa's like, hate to lose you. Why are you leaving? He goes, it's just getting too difficult. Less and less people are believing in you anymore. And I can't take it anymore. So Santa Claus is kidnapped under The Rock's watchful eye and his security. He's kidnapped by this witch. And so The Rock's got to go find him. And he starts off with Santa's brother. And you know who Santa's brother is?
It's Chris Evans.
No, I'll tell you where Chris Evans comes into this, but no, it's not Chris Evans. In real life, who's Santa's brother?
In real life. Well, in real life, I'd say the Easter Bunny.
No, Krampus.
Oh yeah, Krampus. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. So Christmas, from my understanding, the idea of Christmas is actually a German tradition.
Yeah, but I say Krampus is a German thing to scare the kids, which is a very creepy looking thing, man. If my parents would have told me about Krampus, dude, I'd have been on my best behavior.
Right. So the idea is that Santa is the good brother, Krampus is the bad brother. They once did Christmas together. They had a falling out. They split. Santa is normal looking and nice looking. Krampus got ugly and has got horns. It's weird. And so The Rock has to go visit Krampus, and there's comedy involved in all this, and there's a slap fight and this and that. Anyway, when it's all said and done, Krampus turns babyface, helps Santa save Christmas, and Santa's able to go and give toys to the rest of the world. But it shows how he does it. So we have this idea that Santa is this big fat guy, and he goes out on Christmas Eve and he jumps down the chimney. In Red 1, Santa is actually physically fit. He's a healthy guy because in real life, Simmons is actually a cut older dude. Like he's ripped up and he's got magical powers that make him shrink to go down the chimneys. And it also shows him going into places without chimneys. So he shrinks down to like this miniature size and he gets in and then he gets big again with all of the gifts. And he has a superpower to make the gifts big and he puts them under the tree. It's really clever. Really, really clever.
I didn't know that's how it worked. I'm glad I learned that.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, it is a Christmas movie like we've never seen Santa explained before. It's a really smart movie. And again, with a good message. So it's on now the list of Christmas movies.
Were
So
there
Go ahead.
Were there any gay elves in there?
No politically correct isness in this movie. There's
Good.
no
Okay.
wokeness in this movie.
I like
So
it.
I'm gonna add it to my watch list because like we have a watch list until January 1st.
Yeah.
We have this weird thing where the kids get out of school and then we have 1 week and Christmas is over and we're still watching Christmas movies because the kids are off school, they can stay up late. But my question is this, because dude, I freaking took your advice on Fall Guy. Dumbest damn thing I ever did. Worst movie I've ever seen. Tell me it's better than Fall Guy.
Oh, 10 times better than Fall Guy.
That was
All
the
right.
Stuntman one.
Yeah, man. Ryan Gosling, terrible. Don't ever watch it.
So Chris Evans comes into this movie as a hacker. He's a hacker that sold the location of the North Pole to the Wicked Witch. And he didn't realize who he was selling this information to.
The same witch from like the Wizard of Oz.
No, it's just a different witch. But see that's where the spirit of Christmas comes into play because Chris Evans is a non-believer. And so there's actually this special department in our government that deals with mystery creatures. So Santa's part of that. And they have this big facility and you see like the headless horseman there and all these myths. So there's definitely room to spin off. You know what they're trying to do? There's room to spin off from the department and the head of the department and The Rock, of course. If he goes to, you need me, Red 1, it will come in. So you can see this becoming a thing. It's really smart, refreshingly creative. How about that?
Red
All
one.
right.
Okay.
I'm adding it to the list.
I'm not a huge Christmas movie guy, but I might see it. There no boobs in there?
Dude, Brandon's not a Christmas guy. I asked him, I said, what are you doing Christmas Eve? Right. And when I asked him, he goes, nothing. And he said, what do you do? Nobody does anything on Christmas Eve. I was like, what are you
Christmas
talking
Eve.
about? That's like everybody has traditions, right? I mean, Jason, don't you have a tradition, like something you guys do every Christmas Eve? Like we get crab legs and I don't drop freaking edibles ever again. But we get crab legs. What do you guys do in the Bailey household on Christmas Eve? And then what do you guys have on Christmas Day?
We drink hot chocolate and watch the Polar Express.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. And I'll tell you this about Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is the best day of the year. I've always said this. Christmas Day is, to me, not the best day because when it's over in a couple hours, it's over. December 26th is the saddest day ever, right? So Christmas Eve, the anticipation of Christmas is more exciting than actual act of Christmas. It's like chicks are hotter with their clothes on because you're trying to figure out what they look like with their clothes off. So then when you get their clothes off, they don't necessarily match up to what your head was thinking. Right.
You're like, I wonder what's under that skin, and you start pulling their skin out.
So Christmas Eve to me is always I try to stay up as late as possible on Christmas Eve.
I used to do that too, to see if I could hear the reindeer prancing on the roof, and I thought I heard them one year. I was so happy.
You probably did. But Christmas Eve to me is always more important just because it's the anticipation. I'm an anticipation guy. I like the anticipation of it. But so I didn't have any traditions as a kid. But when I entered into Rachel's family with the kids, they had the tradition of watching the Polar Express. So I then obviously did it. So now, we'll have both the kids, or we did have both the kids here at the house, and they're older and it's not as much of a thing as it was when they were younger. Obviously,
They're on their phones the whole time, and you're like, "Put your phones down, damn it! Enjoy this family moment."
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously being recorded before all this, so I think they're at an age now where they won't be on their phones as much. But I know, like when they first got their phones, forget about it. It was just This is
Was phones a gift you got them for Christmas? I never got a phone on Christmas, like something big like that. It was usually I got it during the middle of the year, but I know a lot of people would get like the brand new iPhone, or they would get their first phone on Christmas. Is that what they got there?
they've couple times I think they've gotten phones for Christmas, to be honest with you. Yeah. So my mother, and again, this is the first time in 17 years I've spent Christmas with my mother. And this is a very sentimental Christmas because of one, that, but two, we are eating off of my grandmother's Christmas china that she's given to me. So it's kind of a big to do. My mother, bless her heart, she's, she lives she lives off of Social Security. She does not have a lot of money, but she means well, and she likes to give. She very rarely hits the mark. Okay. But she means well. Okay. That's the important thing. She means well. So she calls me up last week and says, she's very excited, and she shops all the time at this, it's not Goodwill, but it's a very similar type place. It's all
like Roses or Ollie's.
No. It's not retail. It's all stuff that's been donated, and you buy, right? But she finds good stuff, and I don't mind it. That's cool. Like, whatever, I don't need anything, but I'll take whatever. But she's very excited, and she calls me and she says, Jace, I'm real excited. I want you to know what I got Caleb for Christmas. I'm like, oh shit. And you can't tell her not to get anything because you're going to do it anyway. And again, remember, I don't even want to say she's on a budget. She doesn't have much at all as far as money goes. She goes, I found an old record player from the 60s. Now, Caleb is a throwback. He's an OG. He's a tangible kid. He likes to touch things, and he likes records, and he has an appreciation for classic stuff. And I got to tell you, hats off to my mother. That is an absolutely brilliant. I didn't think about that. It is an absolutely brilliant gift to give. Brilliant gift to give. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And she dropped like $100 on it, which for her is a lot of money.
Those things are not cheap. And honestly, I would love one of those. So because you can't find that. Like if somebody found one of those TVs, I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, they're like a piece of furniture. And Brandon, I think it was past your time, Brandon.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah. Well, when we were kids, it was a massive, like wooden, I don't even know what you'd call it, like a unit with a little tiny screen and knobs that turn. Cabinet. And that's how we didn't. Yeah. It's a cabinet. We didn't even use remotes. Like when I was a kid, you had to go up and physically turn the knob. And there was like 1 through, I don't know. It was like, God, it was high. It was like 66. And you'd have to go to like the 3 stations. And oh my God, if I found one of those and it worked, oh my God, that'd be the greatest Christmas gift ever.
Yeah. I thought that was good. She did good.
Does she test to see if it works?
Nope. Probably not.
Yeah, the needles don't even sell the needles anymore, bro. Kayla's gonna be like, thanks, Grandma.
He's gonna open it, it's just be a massive paperweight. It's like, yeah, we discontinued those parts like in the 70s.
Well, it's called a Christmas project.
Yeah.
But that's good, and this year it's different, like Rach and I, it's only a few things, and just it's a different Christmas this year. It's not the same. I think 2025 is going to be a good year. Odd years are good years for me. 2024 was, I don't want to say it was a bad year because a lot of good things happened. One, I got the fuck out of California, and I'm no longer working for that horrible person in Californian radio. And so, that's a good thing. But the transition portion of this whole thing, and I had a dream. I meant to write this down. I didn't, but I remembered to bring this up. I had a dream the other night, and I went online. I used to have a dream book, right? I believe in dreams. I do. I think dreams, I tell you something, it's a superpower, right? Because I've had many dreams, vivid dreams that have come true to a T to the dream.
Oh yeah. Astral projection too. It's real. They figured it out.
I've told the story numerous times on the radio about when I was in college, my girlfriend of 6 years, I was having this same exact dream every night for 2 weeks that she cheated on me and broke up with me. And one night I went to bed and I didn't have the dream. Monday night, went to bed, did not have the dream. That Tuesday, we talked because we talked every Tuesday and Thursday and on the weekends, non-peak hours. I'd call her, she'd call me, and she calls me and she tells me she cheated on me and she broke up with me after 2 weeks of the same dream, same exact dream. And then the one night it didn't happen, it happened in real life. So ever since then, I'm a firm believer in dreams. So if I have a vivid dream, I will go now online and I'll research in a dream dictionary what the dream means.
No, you don't.
Absolutely.
I had a problem when I was little. Like this monster said he was going to come back and get me. And sure enough, that motherfucker came back like a year later, dude. Same as that dream. The monster was bad. He's like, I bet you remember me.
Mhm.
It was scary, dude. Freaked me out.
But the monster could mean something else. So I had this dream that me and the family, we went to what was like a zoo, but it wasn't. It was a large room, like 2-story room in an apartment complex. Like it felt like an apartment complex or a house because it had like drywall. The walls are drywall and it had windows that would be in a house and stuff. And it was woods and trees. It was like a jungle. And in this room was a giant snake, but we couldn't see the snake through this big window. Somehow, and we had Fat with us. We had Max, our Cavalier, our Fat's our big Cavalier. And for some reason, I don't remember this part of the dream, how he fell into this room. I want to say like our tour person threw him into the room and he fell in the dream and he's hitting these branches as he's going down. So the room itself is only 2 stories, but when he fell, it was like 8 stories. It was very odd. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, my dog, but he's fine. I can see him. He's like at the bottom of this large tree. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get Fat out of there before the snake gets him. I'm like, how do I get in there? And she's like, oh, just go down the steps and you can open the door. I'm like, what? So there's only like 5 steps that I walk down, like wide, long 5 steps that I walk down, and I open up a door, like a faux wood door that would be in an apartment. Okay. So this is very odd in this room that's nature and trees and stuff. And I open it up and I'm like in the Amazon jungle when I'm in this room and I see Fat. And I'm like, come here, Max, come here. And he's not a good listener. So I go and I grab him real quick and I'm looking around for the snake and I get Fat. I push him out of the room and I see the snake and it's this large python and it's coming at me with this, like his mouth is open with his teeth. And he goes to strike me from across the room and I dodge it and I miss it. Okay. And then I'm able to escape the room. And that's all I remember from the dream. So I go to research the dream. What do you think that dream means, Brandon?
It means there's someone that's going to attack you. There's a snake person, you got snakes in the grass. You got to keep it low.
Okay. That's a good answer. Chuck?
I think that the snake is a sign of something else, and it means like evil, like there's something evil that you need to look out for that's coming your way and you need to be on edge and ready for it.
Or you fell asleep watching Anaconda.
Yeah, and then J-Lo showed up and you're like, what the hell?
Okay, so you're both kind of right. So most of the time, like things in dreams, like worst case scenario, are actually good things. So snakes mean that you're shedding a new skin. There's a transformation in your life. A dog, your dog in your dream, means that he's your protector and vice versa. So what I got from after going online to a dream dictionary is that I'm in a transformation. So next year is going to be and it's odd that I had this right before the new year, right? I'm in a transformation, but I have to be careful because there's still snakes in the grass, as Brandon said, and you got to be on the lookout. You got to watch your back, watch your 6, because they're coming after you. And story of my life of snakes in the grass, right? So there's one person in particular that this dream is warning me about. I just have to figure out who that one person is. Any suggestions, please leave a comment on any of our social media.
Brandon.
He's looking at us like, it's one of you two fuckers about to take me out.
So my question is, how many dogs do you have?
5.
Why would the one named Fat be your protector?
Matt, well, his name's Max. His nickname's Fat. I have no idea. No idea.
Is he the mean one? Like, is he the toughest one, I guess, of the bunch?
That's Melton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Milton's the mean one. No, Fat Fat's the lovey one. I mean, he's just like,
And he's the one that went into the snake pit.
but here's the thing. Like, I think Max and I are probably the closest. So
Really?
yeah, we're the close. Like, we have a bond. Fat and I have a bond.
Okay.
All right.
Can you share your dream dictionary with us? Like just like maybe start a segment where you just read like page 49
Jason's
dream dictionary, and like you read us the dream. That would be actually really entertaining for me.
Well, I got to have a dream first.
Well, you said you have a dictionary. How many pages do you have filled?
Like, it's Jason. I had a dream last night.
I have a dream.
Last night's dream, I was in a snake pit. Page 42 says, be careful. But you're going through a transformation. But be careful on your journey. And that's my dream. Good night.
Dude, I could totally see that being on gas station TV.
Absolutely. Like when you start your gas, Jason comes out of a cloud and he's like, and he's like, did you have a dream last night? You probably have to coin the whole, like, I got a dream thing. I don't think you can use that.
What? I have a dream?
Yeah. You could probably never say that.
Well, to get people listening. I'm about to tell you, because gas station TV, they got those quick little segments, man. I've been trying to figure out how to get on gas station TV, but I don't know where you apply.
They're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of interesting things happened the last week or so. So that's the dream. You're not a dream guy, Chuck. You don't believe in them?
I know you have dreams, and I know that I have dreams. I know that I'm really bad at remembering my dreams, but the dreams that I've had that I was like my wife, dude, she'll dream that I cheated on her and she'll be pissed at me for like 3 days. And I don't get it. Like, I'm not that, I get a dream is a dream.
Well, you better hope she don't hear this episode about Jason dreaming for 2 weeks that his girlfriend cheated on him and then it came true.
She hits me immediately, but no, I don't think dreams mean anything. I think that when you dream, your brain just does what you do when you're awake, which is it wanders. It goes.
Never heard of astral projection then.
So
I don't even know what that is.
So here's the thing.
Never heard of it.
Is it doesn't always mean what you think it's going to mean. Most of the time it doesn't. Right? Like spiders, I think, mean money. Those are like, you're like, oh, spider in my dream. But spider actually, I think, means money. Dreaming about cheating often reflects underlying insecurities, anxieties, or unmet needs within your current relationship, potentially signifying a lack of intimacy, trust issues, fear of abandonment, or feelings of emotional distance from your partner rather than an actual desire to cheat in real life. It's important to consider the context of your dream and your current relationship dynamics to interpret the meaning accurately. And then it goes into talk about certain things like unmet needs. These dreams could indicate a lack of emotional or physical intimacy in your relationship, making you feel like something is missing. So, like, did you guys not bang for a period of time?
No, that doesn't really happen. We got a pretty healthy schedule.
Trust issues.
No.
Past experiences with infidelity. Have either one of you ever cheated on each other?
No, nothing like that.
That you know of. All right. Fear of abandonment. If you feel insecure about your partner's commitment, dreaming of cheating could represent this fear. Have you ever thought that she's banging someone else?
No, I don't have that dream. She has it.
Has she ever thought that you're banging someone else?
I don't think so. I mean, I've never asked her.
You should probably ask her that.
I mean, I get hit on a lot. You know what I mean? Walk outside. It's like, sorry, ladies. Sorry.
Well, now we know you're a liar too. So that could have something to do with these dreams.
So what is your dream expertise here mean when you talk? What do you talk about sleepwalking? Because she sleepwalks a lot. Like, she'll just walk through the house turning on lights. It's really, really weird. Is there any?
That's not a buddy that did that too, and I never understood it. He grew out of it, but I guess some people don't.
She ain't growing out of it.
That's not a dream. That's an actual physical act. I mean, that's a medical thing.
But I mean, she's sleeping. Like, I try to wake her up, and it's like the lights are off, dude. The lights are off.
Step brothers, don't wake them up.
I don't believe that either.
What do you like? Guide her back to the bedroom?
No, I grab her. I'm like, "What are you doing, dude? Come on, you're stupid." Because she sleeps naked, and we have 3. I mean, you know our 3 kids, and she walks into their rooms and just flips the lights on and off. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? So I'm grabbing her and I'm like pulling her back to bed. And she just doesn't say a word. And she just goes wherever I tell her to go. And then she gets back in bed and goes back to bed.
It's
And
been
I'm
a
like,
problem for a while, or
oh, it's been a problem since the day we got married.
Have you ever had sex with her while she's sleepwalking?
I thought about it. But then I thought I kind of was like,
oh yeah, you got to.
Is it wrong? So I might have instigated it once and it got weird. Like about 3 minutes in, it got really weird. Like where she was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, what? So
I thought you were here too.
Yeah. I was like, okay, let's not do that again. That's kind of cool.
What did you say? It's astro what?
Astral projection.
Astral.
Heard that? That's so basically you can there's lucid dreaming where you can control your dreams, you know, but astral projections takes it a step further where you can explore the world through your mind. Furthest I've gotten is to my front door at my dad's. It's very hard. Some people can do it they did a study on it. You know, they had one person in a room, all right, and they put a 6-digit number on a bookcase above them, like 8 foot above, and after a week of doing astral projection, they were able to tell the scientist people what the 6-digit code was, and they got it right.
Wait, so they didn't tell the person what the number was?
No, they wrote it down, and they never saw it, and they put it on top of a bookcase, and he was able to go to sleep and get out of his mind and go read the number and tell him what it was. You can look it up. It's pretty crazy. If you look up astral projection, you will go down a rabbit hole. You'll be like, this is insane.
So you're saying that you have cracked the code enough to get to the front door of a house?
Yeah, that's when I was doing it every night, and it took me like probably like 2 or 3 months. It's a long process. You got to lay there and you got to let your body shut down, but keep your mind awake. And if you just twitch a little bit, you'll feel yourself back in the bed and you'll wake up. It's craziness. It's wild, dude.
How much drugs were you taking?
You can't be on any drugs, or it'll shut your mind down.
That's how I know you're lying. Because how long did you do this for?
Like 2 months.
And you didn't use anything for 2 months.
This is back when I was like 15, 16.
Oh, you hacked it at 15.
What he's not telling you is it was a mobile home. It was a very small house. Look, Brandon, I believe in that stuff. You know, I've always said, Nate, who used to be on the show with us, would always disagree with me on this, and he's completely wrong. But we only use a small portion of our brain. That's why there's people that are smarter and there's people that are dumber, is that there are certain people that can control larger portions of their brain. And I think that our bodies are superhuman if we know how to do things. Like it doesn't, like outside of genetics, right? I mean, you can work hard and be in physically fit shape and all these things, but that's not going to substitute your talent, right? And what you possess. Now, the easy answer for that is God-given abilities, which I will believe, now you're talking religion and science. But if you go to the science portion of it, you go, okay, why are there some people made up of these types of talents and other people that are not, and they can control their mind better, focus on their mind better than other people, and then those people that can control their mind better than those are more successful in many other ways. I mean, there is something to be said about mental training. I tell people this, like at Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, we have on our walls in the different rooms how to breathe properly, like when you're doing halotherapy. So most people don't know how to breathe properly. Even in a conversation, you'll hear them get breathy as they're trying to finish up the conversation because they're not taking breaths, pauses, their inflections off, so on and so forth. So you're not breathing, you're not getting the amount of oxygen into your body. It's really big when you're training, so the upper echelon of athletes are amazing at controlling their breathing. On a smaller scale, I learned how to do this years ago when I was taught about the super slow workout of training, which I believe the guy that invented it is from Orlando, and versus the breathe out, you exhale, you inhale when you exert and vice versa. You push the weight, you breathe, that's kind of the old school mindset. The super slow workout, which there's different versions of it now, like The Rock does a version, or used to do a version of it, but it was 10 seconds. You would go 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10 as you're exerting the weight at a lower amount, and then back, and you would go to fail. So that is the opposite of what you've always been told in training. And that is to So you're breathing normally as you're exerting weight. But when you get to failure, what does your body want to do? Your body wants to strain. So you have to control your breathing because you'll get more reps if you control your breathing. And you do that by focusing on one little thing on the wall, a speck on the floor. If you're not focusing, if you go black in your brain, you just focus on one little thing. It's amazing what you can control with your mind. You know, like I can fall asleep at any point in time just by thinking about it. So I can get in a headspace of making everything go black. And there's like steps to it where it's a full picture. And then that picture starts to shrink, kind of like Looney Tunes, you know, where and it goes down. So it'll be a big picture of black. And then there would be these like orbs and spots. And I'm able to control those orbs to the middle of that black to where it disappears. And when it disappears, I'm asleep.
How long does that take you?
Not that long. I mean, I can,
I was just gonna say, can you fall asleep right now, please?
He fell asleep pretty quick the other day when I was on the couch watching football, and then before we recorded, and then as soon as he wakes up, he's bitching at me. He's like, "Why are you watching commercials?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a football game. There's commercials on." He's like,
"Why wouldn't you watch Red Zone?"
Red Zone. I'm like, "All right, I'm sorry. Didn't know we weren't allowed to watch commercials here. Trying to watch the whole game."
So that's always been a joke with people close to me is they've known that I'll fall asleep. Like in college, they used to call me the coffin because I'd have people in the room and I'd go in my bunk and I'd put my hands over my chest like I'm in a coffin and I'd literally be able to fall asleep within minutes. And they'd be like, dude, how do you do that? They're like, with all this noise and stuff. I'm like, I just trained my brain to be able to do it. I can take naps at stoplights if I want to, and then wake up and you know, like in 60 seconds, you know, so I agree with it. My point is Brandon, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah. See, I'm basically a scholar, you know, I know a lot about astral projection. Look it up. It's interesting.
Every time you say that, when I hear Astroglide, you know, I'm like talking about lube.
No, it's crazy. It's fun though. It's exhausting to do, but it is fun.
Oh my God.
See, Chuck's one of those guys that does it. He doesn't know anything about what you're talking about, but he discounts it without hearing you.
Because it's not, come on, man. What is it?
Projection.
Astral projection. Come on, man. It's
Look
dreaming.
it up.
Your brain goes somewhere. We all do it.
It's basically the idea of you're leaving your body and you're traveling the astral space. So basically your soul is not connected to your body at that point in time. You shut your body off and your soul still roams around.
Well, I'm going to try it, and I'm going to write a number on top of it because
you can't write them. You gotta have Megan do it.
No, I'm gonna have. So you're saying Megan can't astral project? Only me?
No, she can. Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell her to do it. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna hide a number in the room. I won't even tell her where it's at. I'm gonna hide a number in the room on a piece of paper, and how do I have to tell her where it's at? Is that part of the deal?
Yeah, you gotta say where it is. Like put it in a drawer or something. Put it in your bedside drawer or something.
All right, I'll do it. And I'm gonna give her 1 week. And if she can't do it in 1 week, this is BS. Because
you have to know.
They've got guides. Yeah, you got to go on YouTube and put guided astral projection.
I will Google it. I'll do the research. And if I'm wrong, I will tell you both. You're geniuses, and I'm sorry. And you were right.
Well, you're wrong on a lot of things.
I don't think not really.
Yeah,
I don't think you get it done in a week either. These people that got it done in a week are professional astral projectors. Like they've done it their whole lives. I mean, it's not something you just pick up and just like, bam, I'm good at.
Chuck, you're the definition of most people in America. Like, if you don't know, you don't want to know, and you automatically discount it. And a lot of that is a defense mechanism, is of insecurity of not knowing, and you don't want to admit that you don't know. So you don't want to ask questions. Most human beings, if they don't know something, they don't, especially guys, they don't want to admit it. And a great example is that have any guy talk about sports stuff. And when he doesn't know, he gets defensive. It's stupid. It's right. It's stupid. That's dumb. That's stupid. That's a defense mechanism. That's you with most things.
Other than astro projection, what else? What have I ever said you're stupid?
Oh my God.
People want a t-shirt for it because you say it so much.
No, but it says about stuff that you're stupid about. This is like, I'm talking about stuff that isn't real life.
Let me answer your question. Shut up. Let me answer your question. I remember when I first told you about ozone therapy. Totally discounted it. You were, whether you said it out loud or not, your body language said it all. Totally discounted. You're like, Remember, I think I actually cut it out because I was like, I'm not going to play that on the radio. I was like, dude, you're bashing my business because you're an idiot. And he's like, well, you know what? I didn't think it was. And I knew it was dumb, but you know what? I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a shot. It's one of those things. And that's fine. You just have to know your lane. That's who you are. So, but
I don't think so. I think most people would agree astral projection is a little far-fetched.
Yeah, work on saying it first, then you can bash it.
It's stupid. So it's hard for me,
dude. It is hundreds and thousands of years they've been doing this. Okay.
All right. You know what?
But
I'm gonna research it. You guys
stop. That's not my point. My point is that if you don't know something, anything, you can't discount it if you don't know what it is. You at least have to hear it. And if you're interested in researching it, research it. But you can't say it's stupid, it doesn't exist, it's this and this and that about anything.
The first thing that came up.
You've typed in astro, it's astral. You got to look into the case studies a little more.
Okay. Astral. No, there's no scientific evidence that astral projection.
You got to look into a little. Type in there, does the government good for us? It goes like, yes, government is great for citizens.
I'll research. You know what? I'm not going to knock it, Brandon. I'm not going to knock it. I'm going to wait till I research it and I'll knock it later.
Just right now, I did one tonight. Y'all lay in bed, both y'all. You just got to have the TV off and you just got to listen to the damn. Listen to it.
Oh my
tell you what to do.
See, there he goes. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not strong enough.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
His mind's not strong enough.
You can't move and you can't talk to each other.
He's too weak.
Oh
he can't do it. He's too weak. So I ran into, we'll call him Chucks. I ran into two Chucks at the poker room the other night. So I'm sitting there and the dealer has lupus. And on another night, we were having a conversation. She was like, I was talking to somebody about what I do, a guy that had listened to me back in the day. And, I was telling about the live ozone therapy spa. And then she goes, can you help lupus? And I said, well, lupus is not curable, but we can help with the symptoms. I was like, it's not a miracle worker. I was like, but we can help with the symptoms of lupus. And she goes, really? She goes, I've got, A, B, and C. And I was like, those things, ozone therapy can definitely help out with. So she's like, can I get your card and all that stuff? I was like, absolutely. Here, take my card and stuff. So there was a lady in the 9 seat and this dude in the 8 seat. And the lady says, what is ozone therapy? I was like, great. I'll tell her. So it's kind of difficult, again, because it's not a 30-second spiel. So you try to get through it as fast as possible, but you want to sound as professional as possible. So as I'm explaining it to this lady, who I don't even know why she asked me because I knew she didn't care. The guy goes, that's impossible. Ozone will kill you. And I said, what? And he goes, it's impossible. I was like, so you're saying I'm making this up? He goes, yeah, ozone therapy does not exist. So I'm going,
she said, oh, I got you right where I want you, bitch.
Well, no, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue and debate it. If that's what the guy, I'm like, well, I go, no, you're wrong. I actually have a business around it and I'm not killing people. I go, if you would like to understand how it works, he goes, well, you can't breathe in ozone. I said, correct. Well, then how does it work? You can't put somebody in a chamber and give them ozone. I said, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. 100% correct. So it doesn't exist. He's acting like that. Like he's laughing as he's saying it. I said, would you like to hear how it works? Well, I don't need to. You just admitted it doesn't work. I said, sir, I have a business based off of ozone therapy. I said, all right, you be quiet. All right. No disrespect, but shush. And I'm going to explain this to the lady. And so I'm explaining it to the lady. And as I'm doing it, I'm taking little digs. I'm going, so your head is above the Hocket sauna because you're not breathing in the ozone therapy, and saying little things like that. And then I said, do you have any questions, sir? And he goes, well, that does make a little sense now that you say it that way. And I said to him, I go, look, if you just would have had a normal conversation with me instead of discounting it, you might have learned something. Obviously, you just learned something new, but you look silly now, and the whole table thinks you look silly, and you sound silly. I was like, because half the table are my friends. I go, so, next time, pick better words. That's a Chuck.
Why are they gonna no, don't call him Chuck. That's a
He's a
totally
Chuck,
different
He's
situation.
a Chuck. So
Come
now
on,
everybody
man.
on social media, all two peers, when you meet somebody like that, you call him a Chuck.
Shut up. Don't do that.
Karen.
Why
Yeah.
would you put that even out there? That's not even close. That's a totally different situation. He's talking about freaking space alien crap. I'm talking about that's not real. Ozone therapy is completely different. That's like medical stuff. Like if you say to me, I worked at GNC when I was 19, and I remember going in and they were like, "Oh man, creatine. You got to sell creatine. Creatine's the greatest thing in the world." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "What does it do?" They're like, "Oh man, it makes you hold in water weight, but it makes you look huge, but it also will help your muscles and your recovery." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just started selling it. And I'm like telling everybody that comes in the door, "Man, you got to get creatine. Got to get creatine." And a lot of people bought creatine. And then I had a guy come in that's a bodybuilder and he goes, "Why are you selling that crap?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He started explaining to me what creatine was. And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "Dude, if you use it, you got to use it forever. Like you're going to have that look. You'll be able to be big, but you got to just keep using it." He's like, "What's that?" He's like, "It's not making you stronger. It's not making you a better athlete. It's not And I was like, "Oh, let me do some research." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm an idiot. I've been selling freaking GNC creatine for like 6 months and I had no idea what it was." And then this one guy comes in, he's like, "You're an idiot." And I'm like, "Oh, I'll do some research." And sure enough, I was an idiot. So that's different. I think we're talking about medical stuff. People poo-poo things that they don't understand, but I'm not saying it's stupid or you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying I didn't believe it until I knew.
Yeah, but what I'm doing is yes, it's medical, but it's also science. It's biohacking, and the there's no official definition of biohacking, but essentially in our world, biohacking and for any body is a human being taking science and technology, mixing them together to be healthier. That's what biohacking is. So if you're a professional athlete and you're trying to get your body to recover faster, you would biohack with peptides, testosterone maintenance, maybe cold plunge, cryo, whatever the case may be. When you mix those things together, you're biohacking. The Hocket sauna, the most non-invasive way to do ozone therapy, how we do it, is biohacking because it's taking not only ozone therapy, but PEMF, pulsed electronic magnetic field, chromiotherapy, and FSM, and working conducively together to rejuvenate and repair the cells. Now, when I say that to people, just the other day, when I was dropping off those gifts for Vic and his family, I ran into a guy, a fraternity brother that I've known for 30 plus years, and his wife, who I've known longer because she's my best friend from high school's sister. And I was explaining to them what we do. I've known these people for over 3 decades. Deer in fucking headlights. And I even said it to him. I go, "I know you guys don't believe me."
I think that's science. But do you think that Brandon's astrospatula projection is freaking science?
That's absolutely science. 110%.
Yeah, baby.
Absolutely.
I'm a damn chem major, bitch.
Yeah. But I don't know what Brandon's talking about. I've never heard of what he's talking about. But I'm a believer that the brain is 1,000 times more powerful than what we give it credit for. And there's proof that you can do things with your brain if you have that kind of control.
Do you think you can move stuff with your brain?
I don't know. I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past if someday you could.
I tried really hard when I was a kid, like every day. I tried to move things. I thought one time I saw something wiggle. I had a bottle of water and I thought I saw a little ripple in it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think you can think things true?
Or as the kids call it, speak it into existence.
Yeah, there you go. Speak it into existence that you have no control over.
I think that everybody can control their destiny to a certain extent based on their positivity and the way they have, like, their outlook. But I don't think that has anything to do with science or the universe. I just think it changes your attitude, which changes the reaction to your actions.
Okay, so do you think a positive mindset can change your not only daily routine, your daily life, but your life in general?
Yeah, because it's going to change your actions and it's going to change what you do.
That's exactly what we're talking about. I mean, it's a mindset. It's your brain. Like if you can control your brain, and that's what I was telling Vic, our friend that was having struggles. not only financially he's having struggles right now, and Vic's the gentleman and his wife and his kids that, was able to provide Christmas for, with the help of Nick from Inspect All, and Chris, one of our listeners, sent some money, and a patient at a live ozone therapy spa. But, what Vic has gone through, if you go back to an old Twitching with the BS from a couple weeks ago, he explained the whole story. Like, he sometimes you have to hit the river in life, right? I know it's a poker term, but again, life is poker. You can choose to play or not, right? You can fold at any point in time. It's not like a carnival game. It's not like blackjack where you're forced to play. So poker's life. You can choose to play, you cannot play. But if you do play, sometimes you have to hit the river. And sometimes it's not going to go your way when you're, trying to hit a flush or a straight, and you're going to lose. Vic has lost a lot, and he's not taking big gambles or big chances. He's just hit a rut. And some people go through this. And in my experience, best ways to get past that is you have to change your mindset. I'll tell you a story real quick. When my girlfriend in high school and college, 6 years, broke up with me, I was extremely depressed. Probably the only time in my life that I'll ever admit that I was uncontrollably depressed, to a point where I was doing things extremely out of character, especially for the guy that now. I was doing some dumb things, thinking some dumb thoughts. Okay.
Beating up prostitutes?
No.
Oh.
One of the things, I just didn't care. I was doing drugs. I was drinking a lot. Wasn't taking care of myself. I was trying to fight often. Hopefully I was going to lose. That was kind of my intention to a lot of them. One night, 3 guys showed up to one of these parties. We didn't know. Went outside, picked a fight with the guy. Guy pulls out a Belisana butterfly knife. I grabbed the knife, I put it up to my throat, and I tried to get him to push it. I mean, I was doing some dumb stuff. I was depressed, and I was probably semi crazy at the time too, doing stuff like that, until my roommate beat me up one night, and then things changed.
All right, I got to beat the sadness out of you, buddy. I'm sorry. I love you. I got to beat the shit out of you.
I did not see that coming. Like, out of all the ways, he's like, and then my roommate beat my ass. And that's when my life changed. Like, what?
Well, he beat me up because I was trying to do something and he wasn't going to allow me to do it. And so that changed my life. And I remember the next day, I brainwashed myself to become a different person. The person that you see here today is not the person that I was that day at 19. 2 totally different people. Like me or not today, it works for me. I brainwashed myself to say I'm better than anyone I'm competing with. I'm better than doing those things. I'm smarter. And I made myself almost, I guess, narcissistic to a degree. But I had to get to that point. That and writing poetry on my brother word processor helped out. But that's the brainwash aspect of it. And I told Vic that. I said, look, you have to think it into existence. You are in such a rut. You have no control over family members dying and pets dying and hurricanes coming and businesses closing. Those are out of your control. But you have to think with every bad comes good. Not to be too cliche, but Jordan wouldn't have hit all those shots if he missed more. You can't appreciate and understand success without more failure in your life. You know what I mean? You have to fail. Failing is not a bad thing. It's hard to accept, especially as a guy. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But you can't, if you don't fail, you don't know how to accept success, and you can't appreciate success. Do you need failure? You need to lose in life. And that's what I was telling Vic. I was like, just because you've been on a losing streak, dude, doesn't mean you're not going to bounce back. I mean, how many years did it take the Cubs to win the World Series, right? I mean, they just didn't roll up shop and call it quits, so just, you got to keep keeping. And then if anything, when it's all said and done, you can at least say to yourself, I tried, you didn't give up. Pansy ass pussy, weak ass bitches give up. Those are the guys that crawl up in fetal position in the corner and mope and want handouts and oh, woe is me, and have excuses for every failure, and it's never their fault. They always blame everyone else. That's how it is. Don't be that person. So that's what I had to tell him. But it's a mindset. You really have to put yourself in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Did he receive that well?
He did. He
that's good.
cried and hugged and all that. I don't know if you saw the video, but got some shots, and we kind of turned it off after it got a little bit too emotional. I didn't want to post that, but yeah, it was great. Extremely appreciative. So it was good. Yeah, it was good. So your Astroglide stuff, Brandon, I'm in.
Yeah, look it up, man. Try it. Like I said, you've gotta really follow it though. Like you'll feel it working. You'll feel your body. You'll feel your feet shut off, and then your legs and your fingers will shut off, and you're just laying there, and you just pull yourself up out of your body.
Yeah.
Maybe Meg Poland that's what she's been doing. She's been doing too much with your astrospace stuff.
Yeah, she probably don't need to do that. She might not go back to her body.
Oh, Adam got a job. The guy that won the living rent free.
Oh, did he?
Where?
Kevin Simpson, our two peer.
Oh, okay.
Owns a restoration company and hired him.
Sweet. How's it working out?
I don't know. He just got hired.
It's working out good. He's got hired yesterday.
Not fired yet. Hell yeah, baby.
So I don't know. I found out about it. I think Rach told me about it. I don't know if Kevin told her or what. And then I text Kevin and I said, "Hey, you're a good man." And he goes, "I know. What did I do?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What do you do? You hired Adam." And I don't know. I guess Kevin reached out to Adam after he heard him on the show. And then Adam emailed me and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that my entire life has changed in a week." He's like, "Just because I listened to the BS podcast and I was a subscriber, I was able to enter." I mean, he like broke it down. He was like, I was able to enter a contest to win a free months of rent, and I won. So that saved me X amount of dollars to get ahead. And by being on your show, I then got a job. So now I'm making money to pay my bills, and I'm ahead now.
Yeah, a month ahead. Cool. That's awesome, man. That's what I was worried about with I was hoping he'd find a job before that month ran out, so that way he could get ahead. So glad he got this job. That's good for him. Because we'll have to ask Kevin what the squirrel count's up to. How many squirrels are you pulling out of these yards?
I was just gonna say that. Like,
I don't think he's going to stop killing and eating squirrels, though. He likes it.
I think he's addicted to it. I think he likes to hunt. He likes the hunt aspect of it, and then I think he actually enjoys it. Now he might buy some like broccoli and asparagus to go on the side of the squirrel. Now get some money, but he's gonna have squirrel every night. I guarantee it.
He's gonna fatten them up in the backyard. You're gonna do the fattest, little slowest squirrels in the world. He's out there like, hell yeah, that one's ready.
What I can't get out of my head is that there has to be a noise the squirrel makes when he clubs him with a stick. And that makes me sad. And there's no way that he gets them every time on the first shot. So that means he likes that noise.
I feel like if you catch them in a snare and they're trying to bite you when you're trying to get them out of the snare, maybe it gets you like, well, screw you, man. You just tried to bite me. So I give him a little bit of like credit. Like I would be pissed off too if a wild animal tried to bite me. So then he kills it and he's like defending himself.
Well, you're the one that put him in the square, asshole. Like I'd want to bite you too.
I'm just trying to justify it.
It's like I didn't put myself in the snare. You put me in the snare. I'm going to try and bite you.
When people are like, "Why did you kill 25 squirrels?" and he's like, "Self-defense."
Well, it's not a squirrel, man.
They got caught in my nooses that I got all around my yard. Those are not for the squirrels. Those are for decoration. Keep getting hung up on them.
It makes it look better.
Did he say what he's doing up there? I guess restoring or doing the old part, ripping stuff out.
I mean, Kevin's like really good at the restoration stuff. He came down and did stuff for my mom. That guy is way talented. He's a good dude. Like he's not only just a really talented guy with what he does, but he's a good dude. He's a good dad.
He's got a lot of kids, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like we've got really good people that listen to this show, and he is definitely one of them. And
I think we need to get Adam back on maybe into January, somewhere around there. See how things are going with him.
Yeah,
check in.
I feel like that's a huge part of home restoration, right? You get into the house, and I guess Kevin goes in, and he's like, "Holy crap, we got 17 raccoons, 8 squirrels, and 3 bats." Right. And then he's like, he usually has to call a guy to come in and get rid of them, and I just like calls Adam, and Adam shows up with his freaking griddle, He's like, hell yeah. And he just like, he's like fresh. He cooks them and eats them right there, eats lunch and goes home.
Cooking it up for all the workers out there.
Yeah, or he's going to be fired after a week because he's going to go to a house and kill the family pet rabbit.
Got it.
I didn't know I was having a rabbit tonight. Damn, this is nice.
Yeah, he goes in there like, all right, man, what animals are off limits? Dog? How many dogs you got? You got to have an accurate count now. You're going to be missing one.
You told me there's only 2. I counted 3.
You didn't want that one.
Kevin's going to be doing some restoration for a magician, and the magician's going to be like, dude, have you seen my doves? Like, and my rabbit? Adam's like, I'm eating good, man.
Like, they're just all in this hat, man. I just keep pulling them out.
Next time we had Adam on, he's going to weigh like 300 pounds. He's going to be this huge fat guy. We're like, where's Adam? He's like, it's me still.
I hope he's decked out in squirrel attire, like Gucci, but it's squirrel. Scoochy. Yeah, squirrel hat, squirrel jacket, squirrel pants. That'd be great.
All right, let's wrap this up. Please give us a like, share, follow on all social media. Again, my ask for 2025 is that if you don't, please subscribe to the BS podcast. It's what keeps us in business. Need more subscribers. Bottom line, don't get more subscribers, can't continue to do this. Need more sponsors. Don't get more sponsors, can't continue to do this. There's only so much I can do on my own, but we have a whole army of people that listen to the show, especially in this episode where it's a freebie episode. And, maybe you don't even know that you can subscribe and get thousands of hours of content and hundreds of other shows via Spotify. So if you go to thebaileyshow.com on the homepage, and you want to know how you do it, you go to thebaileyshow.com on the homepage, it says subscribe. And you click that button, and then there's another page, and you just fill out the information and make sure you check that box, and you pay the $4.99 a month, and you get the Tuesday and Thursday episodes and any sub extras that we do, and exclusive opportunities. We're going to have another one here at the end of January for subscribers if you'd want to get in on it. So anyway, that's on thebaileyshow.com. But on social media, dude, like I see like the numbers, like our count of people listening to the show has gone up over the last 3 weeks. I'm assuming I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with now all the shows are video. I think that helps out.
People like that. Spotify pushes out more too.
Right. Like YouTube's the number one place for podcasts now. So that's all video stuff. So now that we're doing all videos, I didn't realize that everybody loved videos so much. I guess I'm still in that audio mind. So, okay, cool. And the way that you can do it is you can toggle between audio and video and do whatever you want. That's cool. So our numbers of listeners or downloads or plays are up. So we just need to get the subscribers to go up too. I just don't know if everyone's aware, because I've talked to people that have been like, dude, I listen to your show every week. I'm like, thanks for subscribing. And they're like, subscribe to Spotify? I'm like, well, yeah, you can do that, but subscribe to the podcast. I'm like, I subscribe to Spotify. He's like, I listen every Wednesday. I'm like, well, you do know there's Tuesday and Thursday, right? And also Monday. I'm like, no, how do I get those episodes? I'm like, well, what do you listen on? And they were listening on, I think their Apple podcast or iHeart, one of the two. They weren't listening on Spotify. And so I was like, yeah, if you go on Spotify, you'll see that they're locked. Because on the other platforms, you don't see the locked.
Yeah, it doesn't even show them at all.
It doesn't show them at all. So that's the conundrum that we have that kind of sucks, is that if you listen on other platforms other than Spotify, you won't see episodes with a little lock next to it, and it won't, pique your interest of what is this? So that's the breakdown of how this works. So if you go to thebaileyshow.com, subscribe, very simple, it's $4.99 a month. You're given to the poor, right? And then you get thousands of hours of content and exclusive opportunities. I mean, we just gave away a month's of rent for subscribers. Okay, so just to show you what I try to do for you guys, all right? So more subscribers, please, if you don't mind. And if you're a business and you want to get the word out, need more sponsors. And you can sponsor the podcast, all the whole podcast, all episodes you're on. And then we have the radio show Saturday mornings on WJRR in Orlando and Planet Radio in Jacksonville, Florida. And hopefully in 2025, that's going to grow. So there's opportunities there as well. We can get creative and do anything you want. So we just need to have that conversation. So if that interests you, there's a lot of cool businesses, that would be perfect for this podcast. absolutely perfect for this podcast. I get asked all the time about, do I know this person or do this person? I had somebody the other day that was asking me about we're talking about home generators, and I sent them to Alternate Power Solutions, because they're like I'm sick and tired of my power going out every time there's a storm and this and this and that. And I don't know, there's screwy lines. I'm like, dude, you need to get a generator. So I was like, call Alternate Power Solutions. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, so that's that, all on thebaileyshow.com. And please share our content as well. I post all the time with clips from the show. If you can just share that to somebody in your network, not just, like it, please, but also share it. Share it to somebody. Just grab somebody out of your network and go, dude, listen to this podcast, subscribe to this podcast. That's the only way for us to grow.
You just share it on your story, man. Then the people that follow you be like, oh, they'll look at it, they'll like it, and they'll come on over.
That would be helpful as well. All right, Chuck, you got anything before we get out?
Merry freaking Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention real quick is you're talking about traditions. We were talking about traditions earlier. I was at a Christmas party the other night, and I think maybe next year we'll start this tradition, but a friend of mine said they started a new tradition as the kids got older. They called it reindeer games, and they would have like 4 or 5 different categories, like trivia, special talent, so on and so forth. And they would all dress up on Christmas Eve, and they would go through this. And if you won, your name goes on a trophy. And she had made this, this giant wine bottle, kind of like a Stanley Cup, or not like the Stanley Cup with hockey. And you put your name on it every year as the winner. It's pretty cool, huh?
I like that. I like that.
So,
Brandon would have lost terribly if we did that at the Christmas party.
Yeah, because I got fucked.
do I know the other guy that was pissed?
No.
What was his name again? He's
Scott.
Cool. Scott. Yeah.
Scott.
He's pretty cool. But it was funny because we kept putting down like the same answers too. He's like, I put down Vince Dooley. I'm like, me too.
All right, Brandon, you got anything before we get out?
Oh yeah, follow the Twitch, man. It grows every week. It's so fun. We read your comments and everything. So come in and comment. If you got Amazon Prime, you have a free Twitch subscription. So use that on us, please, because you're probably not using it anywhere else. Doesn't cost you anything extra if you have Amazon Prime. Use it on us. Thank you.
Yeah, the Twitch streams are a lot of fun. And just follow us on social media. Till the end of the year, we're going to do them on Mondays. But after that, we'll go back to the normal scheduled programming of Tuesday nights. We grab drinks and we get a little loopy and sound stupid. And, Paramore Brown joins us. And it's, sometimes we'll have special guests and whatnot. And that's when we had Vic on. So, and if, by the way, any two peers that, have a great story to tell or anything interesting, reach out to any one of us. And we'll have you on the stream. That's no
stream. Yeah.
Do it on the stream. That's
I love the stream, man. I love
the stream. All right. Look, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm glad that you got to listen in from Christmas Day. We appreciate that. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com.
Yeah, baby.